Hey there, how you doing? This is Chris. Okay, so what I'm doing today is I'm looking at basically just starting off a new level. I want to create something cool, so I can't show you what it's going to look like at the beginning, so I do apologise. Hopefully there'll be some cool pictures for you to look at there. You know, in the meantime, I'm just going to move this dude down here just because I'm messing around. Okay, so I'm going to go over here to new level. And I'm just going to start a new empty level. Don't save my old one. And I'm going to save it. And call it intro, because that's what it's going to be. Now, this is my starting dude here. Hey man, how's it going? See, starting dude. And I want him just to walk along a path. It's about here to an end goal. So if I just it's going to be over here. Okay, nothing big. He's going to walk through a forest. Okay, so start goal, end goal. Gonna have some trees and stuff in, and that's about it. Okay, so if I go into my content, I just want to make sure that things are working. So start content, and I'm going to get filters and static mesh. Okay, this does give me a few things to work with. I've been having some problems recently loading in meshes, so just want to make sure that it works. Yep, okay, that's cool, that's working, that makes me happy. Go back to content, and I'm probably going to want to add a few things into this just to get us started before I even get to Quixel. So I'm going to go down to my library, and I want to add probably the grasslands to the project. That'll come in handy. Okay, so that won't take long. I think what I'll do is I shall cancel the installation of that, and that'll speed up putting that in. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to start by making some ground. I want a little bit of terrain, basically where we're going to be, and then kind of a path going over the top of it. So I'm going to grab myself a landscape. As you can see, that's way too big. 15 by 15 seems about right. And create like that. Now I'm going to go to my sculpting tools. I want a bit of noise, and then I'm going to change my brush size to 2048-0, like that, just so it covers everything. Keep the fall off okay. The tool strength maybe 0.15. Too strong. A little bit better. Number 1, brush fall off of 0.25, noise scale of 64, just to add some minor variations into it, and I'm done. Okay, so this gives us this kind of basic land to start off with. Now this is very rough, but obviously this is what I'm wanting to do. Just coming over here. See where it says bad size? Just going to lift that up just a teeny bit like that. Now we've got some basic light in the scene, so let's do a build. While that's happening, that looks like it's been added. Wait for this. Haven't got a light mass importance volume. Cool. Okay. And I'm going to just right click, place actor, camera actor. Okay, good start. Turn that off. Now we've got plenty of things to be going on with here, but I want a little bit of land on this. So I go to my surfaces. And I'm going to create a new one, call it grassland. There we go, like that. And I'm going to create the ground size in a 4x4 so I can get an idea of it, and click OK. Now I'm going to add, and that's a good base. And I'm going to add some height noise, drop the frequency up a bit. To about that, I'll do. Sawdust on concrete, if on that, on soil, grass, there we go. And this one. Only plateaus, it's fine. Okay, I'm going to add a new level, and that will be standard grass. Lower the threshold a little bit. Another level, that'll be nicer grass. It's going to come from above. And again, choose the intensity a little bit, there we go. Next I'm going to add a new layer. A new layer. Threshold a bit, there we go. Add a new layer. Okay, there we go. Okay, so added a few extra surfaces to this. Have a look at it. Don't need to do any scaling. Right, export. File, save. TO round 01. Select folder. No, did I want a specular? I suppose. Should really be using metalness. There we go. I'll stick gloss on as well. And export. There we go. Now I'm going to go over to my Unreal Engine and right click, new folder, TO mats, and in here I'm going to, no I need to hex it, I'm going to import from over here in my Megascans folder, TO ground 1, and let's select all of these. Just give it a minute just to import them all. Can take a little while. Quite a long while by the looks of things. I suppose I could pause this, but the pause button's grayed itself out. So I'll just let it do it. There we go. So now we have all these lovely, lovely materials. What I want to do is I want to apply these lovely, lovely materials to this lovely, lovely ground. Okay. So in order to do that, I have to basically start building up things like landscape UVs and stuff, because at the minute if I just apply it straight off, it ain't gonna work. So material, again T_O, so I know it's something made for this. Base ground map. That'll give us this lovely empty map just here. So if I just expand this out, because I'm going to want as much space as I can, and I'm going to bring this in a bit. If you're watching this in the non-time-lapse version, then, you know, I do talk a lot. Anyway, go over here, landscape cohorts. Okay, so this is what I need. And you'll see obviously we've got things like mapping scale, which is the uniform scale to apply the mapping and all that kind of good stuff. We're going to need this because anything that I map to the landscape is not going to be the right scale initially. Also, we're going to get an awful lot of patching at first. Don't worry about that. It's not often you see great big empty meadows, so I'm going to just put that into there, like so. And then for my standard albedo, which I'm putting into my diffuse and base colour, plop that to there. And I'm not going to do anything else for the moment, so just save it, and we'll get this one shiny kind of default floor look going on. And now if I grab this, I can just plop this into here, and we'll see how it is once it's down here. You'll notice it's compiling shaders. It will take a minute or two. Sorry, I shouldn't whistle, not on microphone, just in case people hate it. Wish I had a trombone. I'd sit and play my trombone during like recording sessions. Like that. It'd be beautiful. Think how much you'd enjoy it. You'd be like, oh, thanks Chris for playing your trombone. Right, so we can see it's quite small patches, yeah? I mean, there's a lot of repetition going on and all that sad stuff. So what we need to do now is just, if I save that, go over to our landscape coordinates here, which are going to control everything, and we can change our uniform scale on this to, you know, something way, way smaller or larger or whatever. So 0.1, as you can see. Check the difference there. Hang on, I'll just swap it into a cube so you can see it a bit better. So that's a scale of 1. That's a scale of 0.5. Okay, and this is a scale of 5. See how on 5 we're starting to zoom in quite a lot here. So if I click save, give it a minute or two. Even though it's just like two things happening now in the material editor, there's quite a lot going on for poor old Unreal Engine, you see. So there we go. There, and now you can see we've got a lot more ground detail coming in than we had. It's going to play. Okay, so we've got like rocks and junk rather than what we had, which was very poor. Okay, so let's go back up to here. And I'm thinking that I'm probably going to keep it round about 5. Let's have a look and see how 10 is. Yeah, I'm going to have to update my Android work software, man. The thing is, though, I must link the landscape coordinates to every map that I'm going to be using in this, because this obviously controls the UVs for the entire landscape. So if I don't apply the specular to this, it ain't gonna work. Yeah? Cool, man. We're getting there. Well, let's have a look at that one. There, you can see again the difference. If I just go to play. Nice big area. And we're getting much less of the kind of repetition that we had. That'll do me. I'm only going for a single ground at the moment anyway, so that's cool. Okay. Incidentally, I use the word cool now non-ironically, so I do apologise for any people who get annoyed that I sound a bit like a dirty hipster. Anyway, I'm going to, or hippie, one of the two, add tessellation to this, just using maybe simple tessellation. And I might apply crack free, we'll see when we come down to it. Now, over here I need to stick in my ambient occlusion. So, I'm going to put this over here. And I tend to group ambient occlusion and my diffuse together. And I'm just going to pull two UVs over and then run this all the way down there. Okay, so I've got my ambient going in the bottom. Next, cavity I'm going to leave. I've got my displacement, which I'm going to put down here. I'll come to that in a minute. I've got my glossiness and my metalness. So I'll take my metalness next. And this isn't how much my model has a sudden desire to listen to Judas Priest, although that would be cool. Keep going. I've got my roughness. These are things that I don't really feel the need to alter any parameters for, so I'm just throwing them straight in here and getting them on. For my glossiness, I'm probably going to run that into my specular. This hasn't attached yet, there we go. So I'm going to put these here. I like having these kind of grouped together. It keeps things a lot tidier. If I was building this for someone else, I'd also kind of outline them and put a comment on them. But you know what? It's just me here, so that's the way it goes. Okay, so that's our 4 bases in. I'll just quickly turn this to a round ball again. Have a quick look at it. See how the surfaces are coming up. Next, I want to stick the normal in. So here's our normal map. And our normal is just going to go, if I just map this in properly, over to our normal slot. Okay, and then if I come down here, I've got my diffuse, sorry, my displace. So what I want to do is go to WS, and I want to get my vertex normal WS here, and then I'm going to just press 1 and click, and material expression here we're going to give tessellation, so I know what it is, and I need a multiplier, so I pressed M and clicked. Get away, I don't need that actually. There we go. And I'm going to plumb that into the top and that into the bottom. And I'm going to bring this to about here, and I'm going to do it again, so M. Plumb that into the top, plumb that at the bottom. This needs to come down and go into my UVs. Then this needs to go up into my world displacement. And then I need a tessellation multiplier, which will go into there, like that. And then over here, this is all strengths and resolutions. So 632 here, and then a multiplier of 64. Save. And just wait patiently. It's quite a big map, so it can take a little while. There we go, and you can see it's separated at the edges now, which shows that our displacement is most definitely working. Okay, we'll close that up. There, and now you can see we've got shadowing and all this cool stuff going on here. So I'll just play. much like shadowing on the rocks and stuff, so that's cool. This guy can jump so far, can't he? It's amazing. Okay, so yeah, that's okay. I like that. That'll do for me. So go back to my content, and I think I'm ready to start kind of putting some trees and stuff into this. Now I'll show you what I'm going to be doing. So I've got my Infinity Blade grasslands here. Need to find the right one. Yeah. And I think, yep, you see, so I've got trees and stuff that I can put in, like this cherry tree. I'm not sure how many different trees are in this, but there's a few, you see. Where's the camera? Oh, there it is. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe spend a little time just putting a few things into the scene that I might want. So what I can do is I can just get my foliage editor here. Start working on these. Too big. A bit smaller. Let's see, and we'll have some ferns. Very dense. Next, cherry tree density per will be 25. Each one has a radius of 4, scaling uniform, scaling with a minimum of 0.8 to a maximum of 1.4. That's the variation there. Z offset -1 to 0. Collision presets, block all. Next, SM plants. Then these fellas are quite big, so I'm going to change the density on them again to 33 this time, with a radius of 1 and a scaling of 0.25 against a maximum of 0.75. I'm going to do the same for these, so I can do them all at the same time. 0.27 this time, with a radius of 1. A scaling of 0.35 to a maximum scaling of 0.88. Finally, this stump. I don't want too many of these stumps, so 10, radius of 2, scaling a minimum of 0.8 to a maximum of 1.2. Notice the difference? Yeah, of course you do. Okay, next 10, 24, and pull back. And slowly blocking in the path as we come towards it. Again, this is just a play scene, so you know, you don't need to get freaked out that it's like, this doesn't make any sense, it's just a straight line. Yeah, I know it's a straight line, that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm just enjoying myself, doing a bit of arting, you know, in our cherry tree forest. Now I can turn off any more cherry trees, and perhaps any more stumps, and I can just start to paint in a few ferns maybe, just to become towards the camera, like that. Maybe not there. Okay, that's cool. I can now turn off paint, just go into a different mode. so much fun jumping about Blessing. There's some crap stumps, by the way. There's too many of them as well. I can go to my stumps and remove. Yep. And probably increase the paint density to, I don't know, 5, because I'm not painting any trees. There we go. Very quick and basic way of getting the ground done. Okay, it's nice, and that'll do. And then I'm just going to stick in some fog, bit of exponential height actually. There we go. And change the density a little bit. Thought I'd taken the stumps out, but they're obviously back again in force. Lovely. I do enjoy doodling in Unreal Engine. Just give me ideas, you know. Okay, so we've got some basics going on here, so I can probably work from that. Up there. And there's a lot of fun things we can find in here. Oops, wrong one. Cool. Something to see through the trees, you know. Right. I'll find some floor. At the minute I'm just doodling and just kind of relaxing and enjoying myself, you see, so it may not look like it, but I am. I just want to get an idea of something that I'm building. No, that'll do. So give us a nice goal. I'm not so worried about the overlap at the minute. All I'm doing now is just adding things to it just to make it look interesting. So it can be quite hard positioning things, but I'm getting there. I'm having face out of an animal. Make him huge. So we've got this nice big statue coming out over there, like that. And I like this tower, so I'm going to copy it. I like the idea of having a bit of chaos on this building, you see, so pardon me. I think I'll elongate this, so if I just increase it on the z-axis, 1.8. Actually I'll increase a bit more, maybe 2.2. Yeah, that way we've got this like really interesting 3-tower kind of thing going on. Okay, find my camera. Pin that. Should be a little pin button on it, where's it gone? I seem to have lost my pin somewhere. Ah, there it is. So I can kind of see what I'm doing a bit better. Okay, now I need some walls. So I'm going to use that. Get down. About there. And need a pillar. Quite a nice pillar, that one. Again, bring it down. Could be a little bit small, so I'm going to have a look at it. I might go with a column instead. I notice I've got caps lock on incidentally, so there we go. Here's some nice columns. I want a large, non-broken, so there we go. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building some interesting little shapes down here. Because I can. And you can too, that's the whole point. There's nothing you can't do if you don't want to. As Bob Ross has so kindly said, this is our world. You can do whatever you want with it. You want to put yourself a nice fluffy little cloud? Just go ahead. Nothing stopping you, my friend. I'll bring that over to there. Start boxing in some areas, you see. Now what I can do is grab this and this. And over there. That. Now it's blocking off some of the things over there that I wanted to be able to see, so I quite like having that there, just kind of loose. And I think what I'm going to do is just bring this one down over to around about here. Do like kind of rubble. Got that. There we go. Yeah, that's working okay for me. Now I'm going to grab this wall, stick it there. Start just duplicating it again. I like the idea that some of this is all sunken in, you see, and all sorts of weird stuff going on here. I mean, you know, what is it protecting from? Who knows? Who knows, my friend? That is, I'm going to turn that just to 90 degrees. There, drop it down. Start building our gardens. There we go, so that's all hidden off now in their wall. I do like the kind of shapes we get when we start doing this. Okay, and do you have any arches that might work? I like arches. Ooh, all the arches. I like that. It's got a small arch, so that'll do. Right, gonna get in the right place. Actually, I quite like the original scale of this one. I just changed this to 0, unfortunately, which is a bit small. There we go. So 1 on 1. So if I was to embed that into about there, let's have a look. The offset on both of these is slightly off, you see. There we go. So about there, like that. And I need a column. Or a thin pillar. I notice I'm going with the pillars again, column. There we are. Quite like this one. Don't know why, it's nice. Shape of it and size of it and everything's just what I want, you know. It's a bit hovery. But we can fix that. There we go. Now it's not quite high enough to come up to these two, so that's okay. what I can do is just increase scale till it is big enough. Slot it in there. There we go. Nice. Okay, I've got this pillar here. What I'm going to do is, because I quite like the shape of it, but not where it is. So what I can do is just start putting it into these to show that, you know, maybe something's gone on. These used to be bigger, but they're not anymore. Now, I don't want that kind of regularity that we have at the minute, so there we go. Checking it out. Not quite in the right place. I'm just going to turn off my snap to 110. There we go. And over here. I don't think I'm going to do anything else with those. That's okay. Let's go to rubble. Because I do like a bit of rubble, as do we all. Okay, and I'm just going to scale these, so I'm just going to overlap them. Make sure they're in the ground first. Start getting some twists into the bricks. There we go. And I like the idea that kind of the floor's been broken up over a few years and things have started to go a little bit peaked on. Let's get some pieces in that are kind of buried and some aren't. So we've got pieces that are kind of par buried into the ground. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, let's go down here. Still got these, so I think what I need to do is start looking at getting rid of some of these parts once we get to the wall over here. Now the wall is continuing, so I think what I'm going to do, lower it just a teeny bit just so that that's embedded. And it's funny, I always double tap the spacebar to move, and I've noticed that, I mean obviously I can use the max hold keys, but my hands automatically kind of over this, so I tend to do it this way now. Again, just bring it down a little bit just so that we get it embedding. Don't want too much. And then I'm use these just because they're at the right angle. Okay, and I want to have the player kind of walking down various bits, so use my select tool, just get rid of a couple of bits that I don't want in the way. Maybe they're a bit too close. There we go, that'll do. Then I want another wall down here. This one though I want kind of broken, castly, woony stuff. So look at this. So look at this. Oh, look at that, isn't that beautiful? Lovely ruined wall. Who doesn't like a nice ruined wall? Well, obviously, if you want to have a house that's warm, probably has its benefits, but you know what I mean. I'll start pulling these ruined walls in now. Start overlapping them a bit behind the trees. Now, like that, so the other trees on the other side of it. And if I just select this and this, right click and replace with, there we go. Bring that over to there. Up. And I'm going to get me a pillar. Like so. And I want to take this one as well, just move it there. There we go. And let's have a look. The whole idea is I'm kind of blocking out this area so the player can't get to it. They can see it, and they may want to get to it, but you know what? They ain't going there. So make a copy of it, and again, replace it with this. There we go, just like so. You can see how these are kind of slowly coming together now. But I just want to give the player like no room for jumping off things and spoiling it. Stick a column in. And for positioning, I'm just going to duplicate that and replace it with this mid, so there we go. And the thing is, the variations in architecture are going to make the player forget that we're repeating so much of the geometry. When they see it, it's like, well, because we're patching them together like this, as far as the player's concerned, it's like not happening. It's just different pieces over and over again. I think what I'll do is I'll pull this pillar here over, and you see how we're starting to get this kind of impression that there was a building here and it's all basically gone to shit, and now the player has, you know, basically got to kind of go down this way, and there we go. Yeah, the player's kind of being led down this way and herded where we want them to go, which, if you remember, was where that little cylinder was when we first started all this, and now it's obviously all the way over to this big tower. And we're getting to the point now, well, we don't want them to, you know, get to the tower yet. We want them to be delayed as much as possible. We're trying to extend the player's, you know, game or whatever it is. Right, we've got castle, bridge, wall, we've got short wall, straight. Let's have a look at short wall, straight. I like short walls normally. It won't be in the right place, but that's okay. Now, you've got to remember, like, our prototype character can jump, and he can jump pretty darn well, so anything that we put here, at the moment, chances are our player can just hit space and leap over. But if we're removing the ability to do that, and maybe making the player need to climb, or whatever it is the player's going to need to do, then this becomes a whole new ball game. Right, I'm just going to replace it with... Actually, I don't want to replace it, I like it where it is. I think what I'll do is I'll bring this over. Okay, so as you can see, we've got this like window, kind of ornamental area here. If you've ever been to, for example, Durham Cathedral, or anywhere that has kind of the outside grassy areas surrounded by pillars and things, or recognise this kind of design, we start to box it in. Well, actually, you probably won't recognise this kind of design, but I'm just yammering on, keeping you occupied, you know, as is my job. Bring this one down a bit more. duplicate it. Take off this top one, because that way we can see now that it's not level, but it was more not level before. There, we can add 3 levels to that one, maybe 2 levels to that one, so we can see through it, but we don't want the player to jump over it. Okay, that's going okay, and then down here, well, golly gee, we need to just block out this part and bring it down like that. And let's just have a look at this. And we can see now where we're forcing the player to start from. And what I want to do is, I think rather than having these parts here, because we want the player to start in a basically a closed off zone, I'm just going to bring this to here and then spin it around into there, and basically start the player off in this kind of walled out area here. And the thing is that with the blocking volumes of the trees, the player can't go too far. So play. You can see now our Megascans ground is doing what it's supposed to, which is cool. We've got like things growing over the tops of the walls and the trees and the ruins. A lot of tree chunks that I don't want, so because they look like shite. I think that could be the lighting build's fault as much as anything. It seems determined to keep the tree chunks in. Okay, I'm just going to unpin that. And what I want to do now is create myself a light mass importance volume. So I'm going to go to my volumes and light mass importance. I'll get it to go into the right bloody place. There we go. And now what I can do is get that stretch of my level like that, because I've actually basically got a corridor. It's just it doesn't look like it, and I only want things inside the corridor. Okay, a little bit more stretch. And I can overlap my light mass importance volumes if I so desire. Okay. Cool. And now all I have to do is build. Right, so lighting builds are calculated. Click play. Nice. The ground's looking good. Plenty of variation. Stumps, unfortunately, but you know what? I don't know why there's stumps here. I just want them to be in the game, obviously. And as you see, there's nothing yet over here, except for a lot of sunshine. Possibly that late evening kind that blinds you in the car, you know? There we go. That's cool. Okay, that's a good place to start. So, I shall see you when we come back to this. Probably in a week. Well, hopefully less. But until then, TTFN.